America doesn't lack resources. America doesn't lack workers. America doesn't lack technology. So then why does a product labeled Made in America often cost 2, 3, sometimes 5 times more than the same product made elsewhere? This isn't about patriotism, it's not about greed, and it's not because Americans are lazy. The real reason is hidden inside how modern economies are built. For 50 years, we've been told that cheap is the only metric that matters, but cheap comes with a hidden receipt, one that we are finally starting to read. Once you see the layers of this price tag, you'll never look at a Made in USA sticker the same way again. We're told a simple story. If you make products at home, you create jobs, you protect workers, you strengthen the economy. So logically, Made in America should be more efficient, right? No shipping across oceans, no middlemen, no tariffs. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Modern economies are no longer optimized for making things. They're optimized for moving, financing, and scaling things. In the 1970s, the US shifted its entire DNA. We decided that service and software were the future. Manufacturing was seen as old world. We didn't just move the factories, we dismantled the knowledge. America optimized itself out of manufacturing decades ago. When you try to start it back up, you aren't just turning on a machine. You're trying to wake up a giant that's been in a coma for half a century. The first explanation people reach for is wages. Yes, American workers are paid more, but here's the secret the industry doesn't tell you. Labor usually makes up less than 20% of the cost of most manufactured goods. If you buy a $100 pair of sneakers, the actual human hands part of the cost is often less than $5. If higher wages were the real problem, automation would have solved it. We have the robots, we have the AI. If a robot can do the job in Ohio just as well as a human can do it in Vietnam, why aren't the sneakers $20? Because labor isn't the bottleneck anymore. The bottleneck is everything around the labor. The cost of the building, the electricity, the taxes, and the parts. In America, the overhead is the monster under the bed. When you make something in America, you're not just paying a worker, you're paying for the invisible cost stack. Think about a simple plastic toy. In a developing nation, you might just build a factory and start the belt. In America, you're paying for environmental compliance. You can't just dump the chemical runoff. Workplace safety. Every machine needs a cage, an inspector, and an insurance policy. Healthcare. The employer often carries the weight of the worker's medical bills. Legal liability. One slip and fall can end a business. None of these are bad things. We want clean air and safe limbs, but every one of them adds friction, and friction is the enemy of a low price tag. Other countries removed friction to compete. America added friction to protect stability. Different incentives, different outcomes. Here's where most people miss the point. Manufacturing isn't one factory, it's hundreds of suppliers spread across a network. Imagine you need a specific type of specialized screw. When something is made in Asia, that screw factory is probably 3 blocks away. Raw materials are nearby. Components are clustered. Ports are designed for exports. When you try to replicate that in America, you realize the screw maker went out of business in 1994. The spring maker moved to Mexico. The plastic molder only does medical equipment now. So to make your American product, you have to ship the screws from overseas anyway. You don't just need a factory, you need an entire industrial forest, and you can't grow a forest overnight with a political slogan. China doesn't win because it's cheaper. China wins because it's bigger. Think about the math of a mold. To make a plastic phone case, you need a steel mold that might cost $50,000. If you make 10,000 units in America, that mold adds $5 to every single case. If you make 10 million units in a massive global hub, that mold adds half a cent. Scale spreads fixed costs across millions of products until the cost disappears. America doesn't lack skill, it lacks volume concentration. Because we consume everything, but we produce in batches. And without massive world-dominating scale, efficiency is mathematically impossible. There's a deeper reason manufacturing left. America found something more profitable. Why would a billionaire invest $5 billion into a factory that takes 10 years to pay back when they can put that money into a software app or a hedge fund and see a return in 10 months? Our capital flowed into stocks, real estate, intellectual property. Manufacturing has thin margins, it's messy, it involves physical things that break. Software has infinite margins. Manufacturing didn't disappear by accident. It was financially outcompeted by our own success in other sectors. We traded the hard hat for the algorithm because the algorithm paid better. People say, just bring it back. But reshoring isn't a switch you flip. It means rebuilding supplier networks that died years ago, training a generation of workers who were told manual labor is for losers, rewriting zoning laws so factories can actually exist near cities, and most importantly, accepting higher prices. Reshoring isn't impossible, but it's expensive, slow, and politically inconvenient, because the true cost isn't money, it's time. You can't buy back 50 years of lost experience in one election cycle. When you buy something labeled Made in America, you're not choosing a product, you're choosing a trade-off. Higher prices aren't a failure of the system, they're the signal. They reflect cleaner air, safer workplaces, legal protections, and economic stability. But they also expose a hard truth. The systems that protect workers and consumers are the same systems that make speed and cheapness impossible. In a global economy built for efficiency, America chose resilience, and resilience always costs more until the day you actually need it. But here's the real question. If America does bring manufacturing back, will it be humans doing the work? Right now, we're trapped in a paradox. The only way to make Made in USA cost competitive with the rest of the world is to remove the most expensive part of the equation, the worker. So we build dark factories, plants that run with the lights off because robots don't need to see. We get the production back, we get the Made in USA label, but we don't get the jobs. And that is the final uncomfortable price of the label. We might finally succeed in bringing the factories home, only to realize that we've built an economy that produces everything but employs no one. If the American worker is no longer in the factory, who is the Made in America label actually for? Is it a triumph of national pride, or is it just a high-tech ghost story? The answer isn't on the price tag anymore. It's in what we value more. The cost of the product or the person making it? I want to hear from you in the comments. If a product is made in America by a robot, does it still count, or is the human element the only thing that justifies the price? If this video gave you a new perspective, hit the like button and subscribe to see the world behind the label. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.